WA6ED. Is there any emergency or priority traffic before we start the SOARA Elmer Saturday TechNet? All right, this net's open to all licensed amateurs. That means if you have a license, you can talk on this net, so or a valid one at least. And it's open for questions. It's a little bit different format net where if you have a question, let me know, and then we'll try to help you on your ham radio related question. Okay, if you'd like to check into the net, please call now.
Well, okay, I'll be first. AE6H, Ray.
Good morning, Ray. Got you down, AE6H. Anybody else like to join the net? Please call now. Wow, not very much turnout today. I guess it's not supposed to rain until tomorrow. I haven't looked at the latest weather report, though. So maybe everybody is trying to get all their chores done. Well, good morning, Ray. Go ahead and say hello, and maybe we'll get some more people. Don't know. WA6ED.
Good morning, Ed. And yeah, hopefully everybody wasn't confused like I was and didn't show up at Gilroy Park this morning. I don't know where I got the idea that today was the in-person, but somehow, as you probably saw the email chain, I sent the weather report saying it shouldn't be too bad at Gilroy. Hopefully too many people didn't see that, and I didn't confuse them. And of course, being a typical ham radio gathering up at Gilroy, nobody will have a radio I haven't turned on. Something I never understand. Anyway, not much else, so good morning. And hopefully I've stalled it up that someone else will have arisen, consumed enough coffee to push the talk button. 7-3, well, I don't say 7-3, but good morning, and 86H over the net.
Well, thank you for that, Ray. Yeah, well, maybe if we talk long enough, we got to talk more. And I never understood why not very many people brought at least their HTs. I always have mine in my car if I need it. Okay, well, let's see if anybody else would like to join the net. Please call now.
Morning, guys. W6EG.
Well, good morning, Claude. And why don't you go ahead and take a turn? Ray was just talking here a minute ago, and it's you, me, and Ray right now. Over to Claude, WA6ED.
Okay, good morning. Yeah, I'm getting ready to pull out of the driveway here. We're headed for the Huntington Dog Beach. Take our dog for a walk on the beach or a run on the beach. Should be nice. Over to you there, Ray.
Thanks, Claude. I got a couple of things. First, don't know if we're going to see you guys tomorrow night or not. Deb said she hadn't heard. And the other thing is, where do you go to your dog beach? A6H, over to Ed.
Okay, well, let's hand it over to Claude, and then I'll ask if anybody wants to join the net. So take it away, Claude. And that way you can answer Ray's questions. WA6ED.
W6CAG. And unfortunately, Mimi was just talking to me, and I missed Ray's question. So I need to repeat.
Go ahead, Ray.
Questions. One is that we're wondering if we will see you guys tomorrow evening, and Deb said she hadn't heard. And the second question is, where do you go for a dog beach? E6H, over the phone.
Did you get the question this time, Claude? WA6ED.
Yeah, I got the question. No, I guess we're not going tomorrow for dinner, and I was going to send a note when I got back, but I think there was a second part of the question that I missed.
Where do you go for a dog beach? E6H.
Oh, yeah, the dog beach is Huntington Beach. It's called the Huntington Dog Beach. I don't remember what the main cross street is, but obviously it's right out there on the ocean.
Okay, just wondering. I don't suppose they have a cat beach. Oh, well, I don't think our cat will be too disappointed. Anyways, thanks, Claude. That's A6H over to net.
Okay, WA6ED. Let's see if anybody else would like to join the net. Please call now. Okay, it looks like we're going to be a little bit light today with the three of us, but that's all right. Anything else you want to cover, Ray? And then you can hand it to Claude, WA6ED.
Oh, not really. I'm trying to dive into the world of MeshCore. I'm perusing Amazon as we speak. I've had a radio in my car for a while, and I think it's not the one that. Let me see if I can get back to my Amazon card here. It's not the one that Dan has been recommending is very similar. It's a ESP32 V4 development board with a GPS, 3,000 milliamp battery case, and 915 megahertz antenna. It seems to be a stubby. So there's that item, and it's actually down a little bit today. Actually, relative to Amazon prices fluctuate. And then a Boozy Works whip antenna, which is a little bit bigger than the real stubby antenna that comes with the ESP32. I know you had a board there at dinner last week. Don't know if this falls in those parameters or not. So just kind of curious, what's your thoughts, and if you know anything about this particular radio? It kind of looks like regular handy-talkie. It has a little extra pump beyond the one that Dan recommends, and I'm pretty sure that's for the GPS antenna. And how valuable is that GPS? Over to you, Ed. 860.
Okay, WA6ED. Thanks, Ray. Rich, what is it? WA6VOT or W6VOT? I always get the prefix wrong. Anyway, he texted me last week about, and then these are his words in the text. After extensive research, trial and error, and conferring with other users, hams in the area, basically, I've discovered that the Heltec V4, especially the V4.2, is a terrible unit. While the V4.3 can output nearly a watt, the 4.2 is deaf and prone to blowing what little front end it has. The V3 is better, but still weak on the RX front end. I'm afraid that it was an expensive learning tool. So I have V3s, so I guess they're sort of marginal, but you might want to do more research, Ray. Well, I'm going to hand it back to you, Ray, in case you have any questions, and I can put you in touch with Rich's email if you'd like, WA6ED.
Okay, well, it sounds to me like you're saying the V4.2 is not great. The 4.3 is the way to go, but it may not be readily available yet. And this one doesn't give me any point. I'll have to dig a little deeper to check the V4. So I assume that the Heltec, they don't mention that in the description, but the ESP32, I believe that's which is the board, I believe that's the Heltec designation, but I'm not completely sure. So let's see. There's some other items here, so they suggest. So I'll have to dig a little deeper. I'm actually glad to know that the one I'm currently looking at right now is not the greatest. So thanks for that. I'm glad I brought it up. 868, and let's see, Claude's still there. Over to Claude.
Yeah, I'm here, but I don't have any information on that topic. Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, WA6ED for the SOARA Tech Net. Would anybody like to join the net? Please call now.
This is Mike, KO6 AOL.
Good morning, Mike. Go ahead and take a turn, WA6ED.
Yeah, just turn the radio on. Morning, everybody. Yeah, not much to add yet. What are you guys talking about? KO6 AOL, back to net.
Well, we were just talking about MeshCore, and Ray is looking at buying an ESP32 V4, and Rich and Texarkana, past SOARA member, and I were communicating, and he just sent me a text a few days ago about issues with the V4s. So buyer beware, do your research. I have V3s, and they seem to work okay, but I've been having issues where I sent a notice for SOARA Saturday TechNet from work with my iPhone through a node, and the node here didn't pick it up. So I kind of don't know what's going on here on some of this MeshCore stuff. And so sometimes things work, and sometimes they don't, I guess. But yeah, we've been kind of juggling around what should you buy if you want to do MeshCore. And I think it might be going back to the T114, which actually has a Nordic processor, an ARM processor in it. And I think the Nordic processor is a lot lower power than the ESP32 from a power consumption point of view. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to hand it to Ray, and then we can go ahead and do a round, and maybe we'll get other comments. Take it away, Ray, WA6ED.
Thanks, Ed. Ray, E6H here. And yeah, the T114 with Kate is the one that Dan's been recommending all along. And he did comment that the 32 or ESP32, it's the early version, at least that you have, is a good radio. It's just power hungry. So you chew through batteries a lot faster than the T114. And it doesn't hurt that the T-well action is along too. But anyway, I put in my search V4.3, and I got nothing. Everything came back to the regular V4. It's on Amazon only. So I'll have to do more poking. But, and maybe the V114 is the way to go. I like the idea, and I don't think the one he's recommending, Dan's recommending, has the GPS in it. Wondering if you see, any of you see value in having the GPS pop extra or hold out for T114, let's say, with the GPS module. So just let me know what you think about that. A6H. Over to, let's see, Todd, he's still there. A6H.
NW60AG Mobile. Yeah, I'm still here, but I got to step out of the car for a couple minutes, so I'll pass on this round. I guess this goes to, hopefully, Ed. Oh, back to you. I got it over here. 60AG Mobile.
Thanks, Bud. Over to Mike, WA6ED.
Yeah, I'll do that. I have the T114. Pretty good luck once I upgraded to a different antenna, a different antenna. But in terms of functionality-wise, the Wiz Mesh tag, it doesn't have as good of an antenna, but functionally, it's the best operating node I've had. Connects to the iPhone, no problems. Hasn't had some of the strange issues that it has even with this T114, but I know it's not as powerful a factor. And then in terms of the GPS, none of mine have GPS, so I guess I haven't missed it, but I don't know. Maybe there's something I've missed out on. And maybe that's more of a feature for certain cases. I'm not sure. I'll pass it back to the net, KO6 AOL.
Okay, this is WA6ED for the SOARA Saturday TechNet. Would anybody like to join the net? Please call now. Okay, Ray, I just searched the ESP32, or not ESP32, Heltec V4.3, and it got me to Heltec Automation, which is I think the company that makes them, and they have a 4.3.1 now. So you might have to go directly to Heltec and not Amazon. But I don't know. With the Heltecs that I bought a 3-pack of the version 3s. And if you want to borrow one of them, I'm not using all 3. There's one that I don't use at all. If you want to borrow one, next time I see you on Sunday, I can loan that one to you and let you play with it. And that might lessen the urge to buy something right away. I wouldn't buy anything right now as far as on the Heltec stuff until I do more research and find out what Rich is talking about. But I'll put you in touch with Rich, and I'll also bring an extra node with me Sunday night. Over to Ray, AE6H, WA6ED.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate that. And I also bought an external antenna, and I think it comes with the end connection on the bottom. You know, it's about an 18-inch long, about a 3/4 to 1 inch diameter radome, a hard fiberglass radome. And anyway, I don't know. Some people say, well, you don't want a lot of cable. You don't have the antenna right on the radio. Because of the power loss, I'm sure it's different. I do have a short run of, I think it's unfortunately called the RG58. And I've been looking, haven't been able to find anything lower loss than 58, which is about as high loss as you can get, with the proper connectors, the N on one end and the SMA on the other, right gender SMA, and pin or no pin, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, if anybody haven't tried anything like that for sort of a fixed or a higher power mobile type application where you would mount the antenna, in a high location at home or on a vehicle and then try communicating that way. Just curious if anybody has experience with that. Since I already own the antenna, there's no reason. 86H, over to Claude. If not Claude, it's Mike take 86H.
NW6CAG mobile. Hey, Mike, go ahead and pick it up. I'll pick it up next time.
Yeah, this is Mike, KO6AOL. I may have missed what Ray was mentioning. He purchased, that was the beginning of the net today, but there is a majority of the radios out there are 1 watt, and now there are some 4 watt sorts of things. So if you're talking about a true higher power mobile, perhaps looking at one of the 4 watt options would be up your alley. But this is KO6 AOL back to net.
WA6ED. Mike, I thought 1 watt was the legal limit with FCC. Are you talking about the low-raw 915 megahertz radios? Just curious.
Now I'm wondering. I'll have to look it up again. I thought there was higher power version coming out. Let me do a quick search. Back to net. KO6 AOL.
Okay, no worries, Mike. I just got confused, which happens often. All right, let's see if there's any check-ins if anybody wants to check in, please call now. Okay, Mike, do you want to take it or do you want me to hand it to Ray?
You can pass it to Ray. KO6 AOL.
Okie dokie. Well, we're all learning, and we'll get this stuff figured out here pretty soon, I hope. Over to Ray, AE6H, WA6ED.
Thanks, Ted. Right, 86H. Yeah, and I guess one thing we'd have to research, obviously with a ham license, in ham authorized frequencies, we could use more than 1 watt. But you're correct, unlicensed, I believe 1 watt in that band is the maximum. Now, I think there are some ham enabled or allowed frequencies in that range, but will anybody be on them? So with the Meshtastic, everybody seems to have gravitated to the unlicensed frequencies, even the ham, and the one or less watt radio. So, sometimes it's like you could have some exotic radios, and you're talking to yourself. There's nobody else with those radios yet, and that's happened a couple of times. Anyway, I remember when I think it was Lingo came out with a HF digital. So in the early days of HF digital, there was a box you plugged into your mic jack with its own microphone, and it was a digital scrambler, if you will. And if somebody on the other hand just happened to have the identical box on added to their HF radio, you could talk to them. However, they sold very few of them, so not much of an audience. It died quickly. So I'm just wondering if, non-ham or ham frequencies, etc., it's up at the same pace. The E6H over to that.
Okay, let's hand it over to Claude if he's around.
Well, W6CAG mobile at a stoplight where we're just right now. I got a question I won't throw out just for the completely different topic. Anybody that uses QRZ.com, I use it for call sign lookups and logging, that sort of thing. But I used to look at their swap shop. Their for sale and stuff. And recently, when I go there, I can't seem to get there anymore. It's like it's hidden. I wonder if they made that You have to pay for membership only, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. But anyhow, that's my question. Back to that W6CH mobile.
Okay, let's just hand it over to Mike. Take it, Mike. WA6ED.
Yeah, I don't have an answer on Claude's question, but now I'm questioning the power comment. Maybe I'm multiplying order of magnitude. Maybe the standard ones like my little T114 are 100 milliwatts, and the new bigger ones are 1 watt. Let me know if that rings a bell. But don't have an answer on that Claude's question. KO6, AOL, back to net.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Well, that sounds a little bit more with what I've been reading is like this V3, I think, is like 0.16 watts. And the V4 Heltec DSP32 is like closer to the V4, original V4 at least, was like 0.6 watts or 600 milliwatts. So, that sounds closer to being correct, but always something new to learn. Let's see if anybody wants to check in. If you'd like to check into the SOARA Saturday Tech Net, please call now. Oh, you never know who might be out there late. Okay, over to Ray. I'm going to do more research on MeshCore, Meshtastic, and the 915 megahertz radios as well. Just haven't lately. I've been consumed with other stuff that was equally fascinating, but not ham radio, so I won't talk about it. But anyway, I'll bring this on Sunday's dinner, and then also you can change it over to your call sign and reconfigure it and all that. But it's mostly configured right now, so I think you can probably use it pretty easily with either an iPhone or a something that would run MeshCore via Bluetooth. All right, well, over to Ray, AE6H. Maybe we ought to do a 73 round here pretty soon. Take it away, Ray, WA6ED.
Thanks, Ed, 86H. And I just did a quick search on the FCC Part 15 regulations for 915 megahertz. And the AI answer is basically, yes, 1 watt is the limit. There is a 4 watt exception. Well, apparently, and they don't delve into the technical parts, but they have very specific frequency hopping requirements, as well as very specific antenna gain requirements. I'm guessing there's no gain, but again, that's a guess. The deeper dive doesn't really tell much more, but yeah, 4 watt typical limit for effective isotropic radiating power, which accounts for antenna gain. Non-spread spectrum devices. And I'm not sure which the Heltecs that we're playing with are, but they're definitely it's their field strength requirement, and they have the lower power, about 0.75 milliwatts, or no, maybe 750 milliwatts. Anyway, gets kind of tricky. Does anybody know if we're doing? It's 25 to 49 hopping channels, and the power limit is reduced, and antenna gain gets pretty complicated. So I think for most of us, staying at the 1 watt or less levels is going to be safe if you want to, actually want to stay within the FCC legal limit. Over to.
Okay, you want to take it, Claude? WA6ED.
W6CAG mobile. No, I don't have anything to add today to this thread. It's interesting. So I'm just listening to W6CAG go ahead. Or Mike, I guess, goes over to Mike.
Yeah, thanks again for running the net. Good to catch up with you guys. 73, KO6, AOL, back to net.
Okay, I think just to answer Ray's question, and then we'll probably just go ahead and close down the net. I think the low raw part of this is the SX1262 chip, and I don't think that's made by Heltec. So there's other radios out there that use that chip. So we probably need to find out more about that module or chip, and then see how it matches up with the FCC requirements. All right, I'm going to hand it to Ray. I'll hand it to Claude, and then we can still hand it over to Mike, and let's just do an official 73 round. Take it away, Ray. WA6ED, AE6H, take it.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for running the net today. By the way, I failed to mention that earlier. I just checked QRZ to address Claude's question, and I logged in. If you don't log in, it's not available. But I logged in, and I got the swap with all kinds of stuff here. Ham radio gear for sale, general merchandise for sale, handmade gear, and the swap meet experts, all kinds of topics under that. So even free stuff, which obviously always piques my interest. Anyway, just my point is that it appears to be up and well. So I'm not sure why Claude can't access the swap meet, but I was able to this morning, just a few minutes ago. 86H, over to Claude. And 7-3 all.
Okay, thank you, Ray. W6DAG Mobile. Yeah, I'll do some more digging later. Figure out what my problem with QRZ is. All right, 7-3, thank you, Ed, for running things. Sorry that didn't have more turnout, but it sounded like it was a good discussion on the MeshCore thread. And we'll catch everybody later. 7-3, Mike, over to you. I guess you're tail end, Mike. Today, W6CAG Mobile.
All right, sounds like I have the talent. I'll 73 again. Everybody have a good weekend. KO6, KOL, back to net.
WA6ED, and this is the SOARA Saturday TechNet. And just one quick comment, if you can help one person, hopefully I help Ray on what I learned from Rich. And, that's the whole point of these nets is communication. So not a problem. We just had less turnout than we normally do, and that happens occasionally. And on 10 meters, it can even be worse than this one. So we just keep it going. And band conditions are not much of an issue on this net. Anyway, 73, everybody. This net's now closed. We'll return the radio back to normal use, and or this frequency or this repeater. And everybody have a great Saturday. WA6ED clear.